your purpose, Sunita, is to walk people through shadow work and to help them to elevate, right?
I will walk through people through their breakdown to their breakthrough. I'll be with them hand in hand, side by side, walking with them from their pain through their light.
What have you noticed that happens for people who do their shadow work? I imagine it's very different from one person to another, but is there something in common?
Transformation. The easiest answer is transformation, power, owning your truths, being your authentic self. That is the similarities. And I would say basically that's the results. Emotional wounds. That's what is the similarities. We all are hurt. We all feel pain. We all are struggling.
You often talk about emotions and how important it is to experience them. What advice would you give to people that are struggling with their emotions?
Name your emotions exactly what they are. So usually people who are not used to understanding their emotions or they're struggling with their emotions is because they can't name the emotions. Are you feeling sad? Are you angry? Are you annoyed? Are you agitated? Are you feeling betrayed? Like, name them exactly. Usually people just be very vague about the emotions. I'm feeling something, I'm feeling down, but you got to name them exactly to really understand what exactly you're feeling and recognize. It's being aware and recognizing those emotions, I think, is quite useful and beneficial. A starter, because then you understand that if you're sad, then you'll be like, oh, I'm feeling sad, and why am I sad? Who made me sad? What caused that sadness?
Right.
Oh, I'm angry. Who caused that anger? I mean, usually it starts from us, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it's just by recognizing and naming those emotions carry a lot of power for clarity of what we're exactly feeling.
I think they're here to help us to understand us better, to understand our needs, our wounds, as you say, totally. So we can say that emotions are like an echo between the external world and our internal world. So, yeah, I agree. Those are definitely friends who are there to enlighten us. This is why we shouldn't shut them down and fully experience them.
Exactly, and just following to what you were saying, when we recognize, when we recognize exactly what that emotion is, it is literally like a navigation set to take us on a journey to clarity.
Yeah.
And also going back to emotions is, if we can fully embrace being happy and being joyful, we should also embrace feeling sad, feeling angry, feeling anxious. We should embrace all emotions equally, the way they are, and fully accept them rather than resisting them. When we resist emotions, we deny what we're feeling. And when we deny what we're feeling, we deny who we are,
Exactly.
and we deny our experiences. And when you deny that, you suppress everything that you're experiencing and you pretend that nothing happens. But when you pretend that nothing happens, it's still happening in you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the more you fight against an emotion, the more it becomes stronger and stronger. So acceptance totally is one of the good ways to deal with our emotions. Accepting our emotions is actually accepting ourselves and the way we react to our environment. Yeah,
Exactly.
totally. And Sunita, you also often talk about speaking your truth. Talk about that. Like, why is that so important to you to speak your truth and be your truest self? Because this might sound for some people really frightening. Like, I can't be truly who I am because people will think that, you know. Um,
Mm.
why is that so important for you to be your true self?
Speaking my truth is highly important because every time I don't speak my truth, I deny who I am. I don't own another aspect of who I am. Also, because I can make other people happy. So I can make other people feel comfortable while I pay the consequences of me not feeling comfortable, of me not being who I am. With that, it really indicates that I don't love myself at all and I love other people. And that really is obviously not love. For me, expression is highly, highly important in one of my values. I need to express everything from how I feel to my point of views, to what I dislike and what I like as well. Everything needs to be spoken because that is my expression. And the more I express myself and speak my truth, the more I stand in my power and my authentic self.
Okay.
And within that space, I fully accept everything of who I am and whatever my expression is and my truth is. And that is true love, from the ugly side to the beautiful side in all its expression and truth. And when I can do that, fully express myself, I set myself free. That's why I need to speak my truth, is by setting myself free. I need to be free. And when I don't speak my truth, I'm not free. And when I'm not free and I'm not loving myself freely from the ugly side and the beautiful side, I cannot truly love anybody.
What starts changing once you accept and start, expressing your true self?
I feel free. I feel liberated. I don't feel anxious anymore. I'm not paranoid because everything's out. It's no longer in my head. It's out. I've spoken my truth.
What was the most eye-opening experience you had while expressing your true self?
The assumption that someone's thinking something bad about you.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you spoke your truth, it's completely the opposite. Actually, the person was not even thinking anything bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I think by speaking my truth and being completely open, it allows someone else to speak their truth. And then everything is in open, and we're no longer sitting in this paranoia and making assumptions of things that doesn't really exist and never really actually existed.
So even if the person won't tell you like, oh, you inspired me by being your true self, it might inspire her to do the same. So yeah, like you're so right. We can totally change lives just by being ourselves in the truest way.
Yeah, because it inspires other people to be their true self.
Exactly.
It gives them the opportunity to speak their truth because they feel safe that someone else is doing it.
Yes.
And then as a domino effect, if everyone keeps doing it, it gives people an opportunity to set themselves free. The compassion you receive from other people is beautiful.
Okay.
Because we humans are more in the tendency of thinking badness, bad actions. People would think this and people would think that, whatever, right? Like, our mind goes into negatives instead of positives. And when you give people the chance, the opportunity to respond back, of course, depending what that truth is, if it's something that you're ashamed of, and you get that opportunity for people to hear that, you would be highly surprised that generally people have something beautiful to say in return.
Yes, it's true. Yeah.
It comes from compassion and love and understanding and kindness. And when we express that, we give ourselves to experience that beauty, and you also give that opportunity for other people to share that love as well.
How can they take baby steps so they begin to express their true self little by little so it's not that scary? Can you give us some concrete little examples that you can start apply right now or tomorrow?
A simple thing is, if you don't like something and you don't want to do something, say no. I don't like it, and this is why I don't like it, and no, I don't want to do it. So saying yes to things that you want.
It's also important, yes.
Giving your opportunity to say yes. It's just by saying yes and no, and literally saying, If you don't like something, I think usually the part where people struggle to speak truth is actually the bit where they dislike.
Yes,
Every
yes.
tendency of people pleasing, and that's when you don't speak your truth. Just start with very simple things. If you don't want to have a conversation with someone, or you don't want to go out, well, now we don't have that option of going out, so that's different. But if you don't want to do something, say no and say why. Don't only say no, say why, because then you're speaking your truth.
From your own experience of life, what will be the greatest advice you can give people, even if they didn't ask for it?
I know it will sound cheesy to people, but this is the truth. And I really, really believe it's the truth. Everything that you do, think, say, act must be from your space of your heart.
Mm.
Always from your heart,
Yeah.
from love and unconditional love. And but before you could do that, you got to give yourself unconditional love first. And always, I always will say this. It sounds cheesy, but I truly, truly believe it. It's not even a belief. It is. It is.
Mm.
Always choose love instead of fear.
Yes.
You choose fear, you treat yourself badly, you treat other people badly, you say things that you don't mean,
Mm.
not only to others but also to yourself. You think about things that don't really exist, and you create drama not unnecessarily. But when you're in a space of heart and love, everything seems to just flow. You find solutions, you make things happen, and everything comes from a very joyful, safe environment when you live in your place of your heart. I know it's not very structural, it's not very detailed, it is very abstract, but that's what I would say is always speak, act, think from a space of your heart and not fear.
Mm. What can you say to those people that realize they need to do their shadow work so they can be their highest self, but don't feel like having the courage to do it?
It's not so scary to go get someone to help you, right? I think it's more the willingness. It's like coming to a realization that shit, I need to do the work. And if I don't do the work, I'm going to be in the same place and I'm going to repeat the same mistakes and I'm going to keep attracting unhealthy things into my life if I don't make the change. So it's more, instead of being, yeah, it's more of the being completely aware and in acceptance that if you don't make that change, nothing's going to change. And having complete openness and willingness to make the first step of going, I need to change. And that starts within you, of making that decision of going, right, I need to change something right now, and being completely in alignment, the fact that, and committed that you want to change. So I think it's not so much about being scary, it's about literally making that decision that you are in full acceptance that you need to make that change, otherwise nothing's going to change.
Shadow work is definitely necessary so you can move to the next level, right?
And then when you get guidance from somebody and kind of have the taste and the flavor of what deep work means, then you have the courage. You have like a little bit of a sense of courage going, okay, I know how this works. I know what it requires, what it feels like. And then you can keep practicing into working on your shadow work with yourself.
What can you say to encourage that person to take action?
How long do you want to be in that shitty place that you have been? Are you happy? Is this how you want to live your life forever? Tomorrow, the day after, and the day after, and the day after? Do you want to keep waking up feeling bad, guilty, shameful, worthless, unloved, feeling like you are consistently anxious, depressed, numb? Is this how you want to live your life forever? Or do you want to start feeling joyful, alive, feeling like you've got a fire in your belly, feeling like you have goals, ambitions, desires, um, feeling awake, alive? Which one do you want?